Christian, give us the countdown.
Nothing. 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 Nothing.
We're back. Nothing to podcast. We're here again. We got more people. We got 3 people here today. I'm going to introduce them a little bit. This is Jihan and Rani. So everybody, welcome them with your viewership and everything like that. Guys, why don't you tell everyone about yourselves a little bit and why you're here today.
Hello, friends. Name is Jihan. I'm here today to support my main man, Mason, over here. He's got some heart and a voice he wants to be heard, so I'm doing all I can to be a part of it.
Shout out Jihan.
And I'm Rani. I'm doing this because, first of all, I really love talking to people, and I see Mason has a good vision for this podcast. So
Yeah, that's something that you guys said that. I really appreciate that, and that's why I'm doing this. I like to hear myself talk.
I was going to add, I also like to hear myself talk. We might have been talking about that earlier.
We were talking about
We
that
all like to hear ourselves talk.
before we started. We were having some conversations, and we put the mics in the headsets on. We're like, God, I just love hearing myself talk. And you know, who doesn't?
voice.
Anyone in really this broadcasting industry, I feel like they like to hear themselves talk. I feel like everyone in this industry thinks they have a good mindset and they need to be heard. And I think you guys feel the same way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I've been told since I was a kid that I'm loud. And
yeah, it's a good thing.
that's how I took it. I took it as a good thing.
you were
Thinking back on it, it was probably an insult, but that's not here or there.
Everyone always whenever everyone told that to me, they always said it as an insult. They always said, Mason is the
thinking
loudest
a little
person
deeper,
I know. And it's just like,
They were all insults. You're right.
They
But,
were all insults.
you know, you got to live life
You
not,
do.
not in full of fear.
yeah, exactly. You got to be ready to go. So we're going to get into it today. So I thought this was a good topic to start with.
Ooh.
We are all in different fields of employment.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been in different fields of employment. So let's talk about when people come to our places of employment and interact with us.
Whoa. You're talking about general public here?
GP.
Oh,
You turned me on to that term. GP.
The GP. Oh, I got
The GP, the
shivers
general
over here
public.
thinking about all them idiots.
Right.
Ugh. The thing about GP is the average person is dumb.
I believe so as well.
And it doesn't make sense, you know, because the average should be an average intelligence. But somehow, your average person is dumb.
And where do we lose that? I feel like the average person has digressed just a little bit. And now we're run by all the almost intellectuals who feed us all the content. But that's not also true. Intellectuals, so here's a scary thing, is that they say the smarter you are, the more selfish you are, because you realize that you need to take care of yourself. So when you get a bunch of intellectuals running anything, it becomes a selfish concept and a selfish construct. But it also takes a level of intelligence to realize that coming together will improve things greatly more than being selfish. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
here?
but sometimes there are people who are selfish without the intellect, and they kind of bring everyone down.
Yeah, that's a really bad selfish. And that's a
You know?
dangerous selfish. That's just a toxic person.
Toxic is a good word.
Yeah, right?
So I want to touch on one thing. You said the major population is stupid.
The general population.
Yeah, the
General
GP.
public. Your average person you're going to run into working at a retail store, at a bar, or something. Someone just coming in, your average person, they're most likely kind of stupid.
I'd say they're stupid because a lot of them don't really have morals anymore. Because
Yes.
working as a manager at Domino's,
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that come in and just have no morals, and if you mess up slightly on something that they ordered, they just flip out. And it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
even when I go somewhere and I just order food, I don't do that, even if they mess up.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
either.
You're smart enough to kind of look at the big picture and understand that maybe there's something beyond yourself going on. That something's happening to someone else or some mistakes happened, and it's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal.
So to touch on that, like messed up food, I used to be a waiter.
Okay.
And I can't stand being in a group of people who like sends their meal back and like wants a whole new cooked meal or something.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like a minuscule mistake. I'm like, well, and they always justify it. This is what I paid for, X, Y, Z.
It's like you're just going on a power trip. Let's get real about it real quick.
It gets weird. It's very weird. It's very demanding because
Yeah.
you know this person is an employee. You know you have them cornered. You know that if they say something back, you can easily go to their boss and say,
Right,
hey,
right.
blah,
And
blah,
their
blah, blah.
livelihood's at stake.
Exactly. So they have
Their
to
income.
submit. That's the word, submit. to you.
Comes back to
as-
the power trip.
It really does. It really does. So when I get a wrong order, and if it's too wrong, I really try to be as kind as I can. When somebody messes up, and a lot of time, if like there's onions on it, I'll just brush the onions off. Something like that.
If it's something
I mean,
you could just pick
at
up.
the end of the
Exactly.
day, why be picky?
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know. It's not a big deal.
Very inconvenient. I mean,
I
also
gen-
my time is worth
Yeah.
a good bit. I don't want to wait for a new sandwich. It sucks
No,
that
no.
happened, but that's the way the dice roll.
And generally, I won't even mention a problem with my meal unless I'm asked.
Exactly.
Yes,
You know?
I don't
And even then, I'll just say everything's good. I don't
just-
care.
I
Like
just
if I was
mentioned-
able to do it.
Oh, this like I had a burger the other day and it was fairly dry. They didn't ask how I wanted to cook, which is fine, you know. And then it comes out, it's more than well done. It's dried. It's got like mayo and ranch or barbecue sauce, whatever. It's like
there's
going on.
your dry.
It was-
There's the anti-dry.
It was
The
good,
mayo.
but I don't know. The beef was just dry, you know. And then so the lady asked me, she goes, "Hey, how's your burger?" I go, "It's a little dry, but no problem, no problem." She's, "Oh, well, do you want some like ranch or something, like some extra ranch to throw on top of it?"
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Sauce
And
it
it was
up, baby.
delicious.
First of
That's
all,
good, that's
if
good.
you eat any
Thinking of
meat
it,
well
too.
done, then something's wrong.
You're tripping. You're tripping. Yeah.
That is the truest
Even-
thing. Hey, if you aren't in the
chicken.
medium rare range, then,
So that
then
is
you're
the
in, like
best.
in this weird zone of like
Like-
the cow's still breathing, and what the fuck is wrong with
There's a difference between fully cooked and well done. You know?
you? Yeah. And we lose grasp fully cooked. People want well done. Like think about ages ago. They didn't have ovens. They like were cooking over fire tops on top of stones.
Biting off legs of things.
Our bodies are used to raw meat. Like
to some degree,
we're
100%.
not to some degree. But you know, we can eat salmon decently raw. We don't have to cook salmon really. Our bodies adapted to that. A lot of fish. Beef is really where it gets interesting, and pork, and chicken especially because of all the germs they carry. But yeah, not at all. There's no such thing as rare, medium rare, and chicken. It's fucking cooked or
Cooked
not
or uncooked, yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting how the human bodies adapt to that, and as things progress, it seems we like it more cooked and more cooked. Why though? I don't know, but
I
to
think
me,
it has
I like
to be
that.
a quality thing, because the cheaper the quality of the meat that you have, the more you need to cook it to cover up any mistakes that might have happened along
Yeah.
its way. You know, and I think our meats and our produce in general have gotten cheaper and cheaper and cheaper over the years.
Mass produced.
You know, you can see that they're
GMOs.
bigger. You can see the colors are faded. You can see that they're just not the same flavor inside of the produce that we have nowadays.
Well, even when the colors are fading, supposedly they add stuff to make the color brighter. Like oranges weren't as orange back in the day.
Yeah.
The oranges we get are intensely more orange than
Bright.
supposedly what they were. They're almost like a yellowish shade. So we've genetically modified oranges to be more appealing. These bright colors, apples are more red. And we are actually literally studying this and genetically modifying fruit to be more appealing to consumers. And you know, the boxes of stuff are always red. You know what I mean? It's all demographics, color coded. These people study this, they market it, and they want to hit the consumer.
Yeah, all this stuff we've been talking about kind of goes back into, well, it pushes the farmers market industry forward because we have all of this crap that we're getting fed, and people are tired of it, and they want some better quality stuff where they know where it came from, they know what's been going into it, and they can see or talk to the person who's been growing it.
Yeah, that's a good experience.
Yeah, and on top of that, back to the restaurant stuff, people today in 2018 want good customer service. Customer service is back.
They love it. I love customer service. I love giving customer service. Whenever I've been in a customer service job, I was a manager at an Equinox. And Equinox is a gym that caters to very wealthy people. And with wealthy people, you get a little bit of blindness to the modern day society and the people that are working these jobs. So it became a very weird culture there. Of very rich people dealing with the people who are employed there who really aren't rich. So
They want to feel rich.
It was a culture clash of some sorts of, yeah, they do. They want to be included in that lifestyle. Yes, they 100% do. They get a gym membership and everything. And they want to feel that lifestyle. But it becomes a little bit of a culture clash between rich and these workers who aren't rich and being demanded. And so almost to me, some people victimize themselves there, though. Being like, all these rich people telling me what to do.
Soft.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm a
Soft
poor
mentality.
person. And like, okay, I'm a poor person, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes and no. They don't look at you as a poor person. They look at you as a service person. Like, you have a job. You're supposed to do this. They go to your job. They do X, Y, Z. You do X, Y, Z here. They pay for this. They deserve this. X, Y, Z. Now, when really comes a problem is when people expect above and beyond and expect it. Don't ask for it, but expect it. And that's where the problem draws the line. Entitlement.
Ooh.
And that's where the rich
What a word.
disconnect from everyone else.
Yeah, for sure. They just feel that they can treat people differently. And a lot of people get like that in different situations. It doesn't matter if, how much money you have or whatnot. It's just whether you're a good person or not, how you want to treat people. People
That
forget
goes back
about
to
that
morals.
golden rule. Back to freaking morals. You know, treat people how you want to be treated. That simple. If you start from there every time,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a good time.
I mean, that's a given.
Unless you're like a masochist.
And keep an open mind. I think keeping an open mind is very important.
No one
Always,
has an open mind today, though. Sadly, everyone's all stubborn and stuff. So
I mean, it's very true. I mean, how many people do you think you deal with like almost weekly that are just like on their one track, Rani? Like, if like just like I don't care what you're saying. Listen, there's a difference between hearing and listening.
Yeah.
Where you can hear what somebody says, but if you actually listen, you understand their concept. You see through their eyes. I mean, how many times does that even happen to you? Like even taking phone orders and shit like that. Like they're just talking to you. They're not listening to what you say back. They just expect us to get done.
yeah, see, I have a perfect example of that because I don't want to say any names. But
Hey, I just want to hear it though. Just give me some fake name.
so this lady called once and the pizza was late or whatever, and I was like, I gave her the exact reasons why. As a manager, that's what you're supposed to do, give her the reasons why, and then you're supposed to compensate them somehow. And so that's exactly what I did. I told her why it was late, and then I told her we could give her a credit and like give her free pizza next time. And then she basically just completely chewed me out and said that I wasn't taking her life serious. Because first of all, she called 20 minutes after she ordered, trying to say it was an hour.
I mean, even back to the old school rules of 30 minutes.
Exactly.
She's tripping.
Yeah, but
got rid of that law because too many pizza drivers
Old
got in
school.
accidents.
yeah,
It used to be a lot. So it's not even the full
and because nobody
anymore.
gets it in 30 minutes.
They made it a law that you can't do that as a pizza
Right.
company.
Really?
30 minutes,
Yeah.
it was too hard. And just ladies trying to get it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, no,
She got a little timer. She starts on her iPhone. She
mean-
says, go.
How long does it take to cook the pizza?
See,
After even preparation.
so it got there in 35 minutes because obviously we have the time of when the order came up and everything.
Everything's automated.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, she tried lying to me and telling me it was an hour when
Ooh.
I could see
pull out
blatantly
the
the
little
time. You know what I'm
liar.
saying? Yeah, but so back to what we were saying though. The reason why I brought that up is because
Did you tell her how you really felt about it?
I told her that basically she was wrong. I mean, the customer's always right.
That's the hardest thing to do.
Right. You ever
Tell
call
a
back?
customer they're wrong when the
Right.
customer's
For
always
sure.
right.
For sure. If you do it with a smile, it usually works. You know,
Yeah.
people, eventually
But you're
people
through a
realize
phone.
they're ridiculous. Yeah, for sure. I've called people back on phones when they've hung up on me and just been like,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, I wouldn't want you to think I hung up on you."
Yeah, right?
And they're like, I'm so sorry. It was an accident."
But no, this came up though because we were trying to say people don't really listen to understand. They just listen and then try to get their words out.
They hear and they don't
And
listen.
so I basically told her all the reasons, and then she was just like, "Well, where's my pizza?" And like,
Exactly. She was hearing, not listening.
if she really listened, then she would have understood
The whole
like
concept.
other people.
If
You're
she
trying
put
to
herself
get
in
the
your
free
shoes.
pizza.
Yeah.
But let's stop
Wait,
talking about Domino's because I'm pretty sick of that place.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But Randy also goes to school. Like he's not a Domino's, he's not a Domino's extraordinaire. This man goes to school. He works out. He does it all. So don't label him as the Domino's manager. He's a young 23-year-old who's just trying to make his way in life right now, getting school done, working a job. How many people do we know? How many people do we know that didn't have a job while they went to school?
No.
90% of it.
Yep. Their parents paid their way.
How to work.
I always work. I worked since I was 16. I
15
lifeguarded.
for me. I got
I
permanent.
lifeguarded Rani. I lifeguarded Christian, my manager right there. I lifeguarded him.
Just so you guys know, we have our background story was me and Jihan were neighborhood friends, and then I think I met Mason in I want to say 6th or 7th grade.
It had to be 7.
One of
It had to
those,
be early.
yeah. But we've all known each other for a really long time.
Very long time, and it's
Young bucks.
interesting. It's interesting how we reconnect through this podcast because I went to the Army. I disconnected from everyone in my high school life
Mhm.
and my personal life that I knew. Even though I was in pretty close to the area, I still disconnected from everyone. I really wanted a lifestyle change. I wanted a way to get out. So I found this opportunity and I took it, and I kind of came back to the same place. But I made a lot of great friends. They're amazing people. And it's good to reconnect with all these old people after all these life experiences of just separating myself from them. A lot of these people that I know and we're friends with, they stuck to the same group. They've only know the same friends. They didn't broaden their aspects or anything like that. I have about 5 different groups of friends.
Nice.
My army friends, my high school friends, my childhood friends, my
Podcast friends.
podcast friends. Another group. When I was in the restaurant industry, those friends, and I keep in touch.
Mm-hmm.
I still reach out to them. I take maybe the best few of each one. You know what I mean? Some
Right.
disappear in
Top
the masses.
tier.
The ones I try to keep in touch with.
Yeah.
And it's very weird.
It's hard to find people to trust. Good people to trust. You know.
It's hard to find people to keep in touch with.
Yeah.
That's the real hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents' generations were like always pen pals and stuff. Our generation just forgives or
It's too
forgets.
easy to be intimate in a conversation or something. Like pen pal, you kind of like it takes a while. You send it, you get it, you send it back.
Yeah.
But we can do that full conversation 4 times over in 10 minutes.
Oh, not even.
Exactly.
I mean, it's insane the way technology has changed communication.
100%. You can look at a little piece of metal and glass, right? And it's a window into the other side of the world where you're talking to someone else who's looking into a piece of metal and glass. That's crazy.
Very crazy.
Extremely. I mean, look at what cell phones are now.
Mm-hmm.
The gaming capability of a cell phone alone.
PUBG
What you
on
can-
mobile.
PUBG Mobile, son. Hey, I've played 2 matches in PUBG Mobile, and they're both dubs. So
Yeah.
What you got?
Not bad. Not
I
bad.
do
you
the
got?
same
I'm
thing.
100%.
Mobile is too easy.
Mobile is way too easy. I feel like they're not even real players.
What are y'all doing mobile? I haven't tried PUBG mobile.
So,
You have to like fly like a little gyrocopter or something and shoot things.
I wish it was just. It's like battle royale. It's like you get launched.
Well, I know
and
PUBG, but like the mobile side.
It's PUBG.
It's literally the
Oh,
same.
it's
fucking
just
have-
from
you
your
use-
phone. So why is it rigged? Is it just easier to shoot?
Dude, I don't know. I just win all the time.
It's much
Interesting.
easier to like shoot.
I don't know why.
Is it like simplified?
And it's a bunch of, you gotta realize it's a bunch of scrubs playing.
Yeah, like it's.
Is
it's
it
like,
only against other mobile players?
Yeah.
I see. I see.
Yes.
I thought the mobile
Fortnite-
player was jumping
Fortnite
in
can cross
to the
platform.
other ones.
Fortnite, you can play on mobile with Xbox.
Only Xbox and mobile? What about PC?
I think PC too. It's all cross-platform.
Even PC and Xbox?
That's always been a thing.
I know that they don't like
PC
doing
and,
that.
no. PC and Xbox like to do it.
Just in
Sony,
general.
You know,
Sony's the one who doesn't like to do
did
it.
you see that they were going to do it though eventually?
Yes, but no. The
Like
reason it
even
hasn't been done
Overwatch
yet.
doesn't have it.
But the reason it hasn't been done yet is because Sony's the one holding out. Microsoft's ready to go. They want to do the crossplay.
That's why Xbox is better.
Well, the part of the problem is the caliber of skill that comes from using like a keyboard versus a controller. You know,
Yeah.
the keyboard guys, they can spin around a lot faster.
They-
and they have a serious advantage over someone with a controller where they don't even want them to play generally.
100%. I don't want to play against keyboard warriors. The mouse
They get a little more
Sniping?
intense.
They're real warriors.
and the sniping, they are real warriors.
Yeah.
PC people are like committed. They got rigs, son. They got like 3,000. Like if you pay $300 for your Xbox, I'm gonna drop 3K on my computer to do the same shit.
I'll tell you
Is that-
what. I was playing some Overwatch the other day, and I got into this group. There were these kids, probably like, what, 15, 16, 18, whatever, some high
It's the
schoolers.
best gaming age.
And we were, yeah, right? And we were playing, and I was kind of just taking control, taking the lead, and more or less being the leader, and just calling out shots and whatnot. And then halfway through it, during the switch, one of the kids is like, so, Gtron, my gamer tag, Gtron, can you be our leader? And I was just like, what? He's like, yeah, we need someone to keep us together, because apparently you're good at that. I said, all right. Played like 10 games with them or
That's
whatever.
good.
Yeah.
So why we got you here, Jihan?
And we got a patriarch.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Coach high school football too.
I coached lacrosse for 2 years. It was
Nice.
a great experience.
Right?
I'm really into giving back to youth development.
100%.
Personally, I connected with my coaches a lot as a kid. You know what I mean? I really connect with my coaches. I always try to like put myself in them.
I had the opposite experience. I never really got to connect with coaches. That's why I think I try so
Really?
hard to build bonds and relationships with the kids.
My whole passion from coaching is because I had great coaches. It's interesting, and because I wanted to do that for someone else. I mean, I still get text messages from some of my players today. I coached 8th grade lacrosse, right? 7th, 8th grade, so right before high school. I didn't want any younger. I didn't want to coach high school, but I wanted the oldest age group of youth players. Right before high school. So I could tell them what it's like, tell them what to do. You know what I mean? Be like, hey, man, don't do – this is what I did. Don't do what you did. Or don't do what I did. I can tell you the mistakes. I can tell you how to be successful. And they love it, bro. They love to see my Instagram. They love to humanize or personalize themselves within me. I wear Yeezys. They think, you know what I mean? They like it. They love it. Old men can't connect with young men like that. So there's a good balance, though, of having the old man there.
I was thinking about for us. I've been learning some new verbiage and whatnot. I've been learning clout chasing.
He's about 6 years older than me, Randy.
Yeah, clout chasing's pretty cool.
Hey, clout chasers unite.
Yeah. What else? What else is out there? What are the new words going on?
Boof.
Boof's an old word.
Randy, I heard that from Randy.
Boof has come back, is what it is. Y'all don't even know.
Yeah.
That's a boof word to pull out.
But see, you're using it as a verb. We're using it as a noun, describing someone as a boof.
Well,
I want to touch up on something that you were just saying, Mason. So you're saying that the kids you coached would keep in touch with you?
Yeah, I don't give out my number and stuff. I feel like it just leaves open situations for.
I was very selective.
You know what I'm saying?
I gave my number to.
Like Snapchat, Facebook. I'm like, no, get out of here.
I could see the potentials in some of these kids.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, you're cool.
The reason I brought
they'll start
that
cursing.
up, though,
Parent will get on there.
Was what makes you think? Why do these people? So these kids you coached reach out to you, but then as you were saying, you have some friend groups that don't even reach out anymore after high school.
I've said that.
So it's a respect thing, probably.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see that. But I always wonder, because everyone has those high school friends that, no disrespect to any of them, I've got a lot of them, but
Son,
that you just don't talk too much anymore.
It's just being real.
You just
being real.
And it's like I have a lot of them where,
still at the end of the day.
I still think about them and shit and wonder what they're doing, but you just don't hit each other up anymore.
Well,
so
that takes two people. Why aren't you hitting them up?
What if he is?
It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. But here, let me put it this way. Number one, when you reach a certain age, it's about after high school. Nobody cares what you're doing.
No one.
You don't care about what they're doing. No, you care about what you're doing. You don't even. You might not even care about what you're doing.
If someone's asking you what you up to, sometimes you don't even want to talk about it.
Exactly. If someone asks me what I'm up to, I'd tell them all about this podcast. I'd tell them about all my other ventures and things I'm trying to get into. But some people don't even care. So when you get to this age group or age limit, when you're not with your parents and you have to care for your own life, you stop caring about what other people think. You start caring about what's happening in the world. You even stop caring about some people disconnect themselves from politics because I got a family. I don't care about politics. I'm gonna focus on this. Exactly, but you're caring about yourself, and that's a good thing. I don't think that's selfish at all. I think that's actually the smartest decision. It's just
especially in today's politics.
It's
mostly just distractions, smokes, mirrors.
It's over exaggerated. Everything's over exaggerated.
No one cares about Trump and fucking Stormy Daniels, dude.
That's the craziest thing to me. We get it. What if Trump is polyamorous?
She's not even a bad porn star, dude.
Poly.
Who knows what it was back in the day? I don't know. But yeah, no, it's gotten ridiculous. It's just this circus show. They even make Netflix originals about. It's a circus.
Stormy Daniels is appearing on
They made a
Saturday
Netflix
Night
show
Live.
about what? Politics?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
The
talking
whole
about House of
situation with
Cards or
Trump
whatever?
going on. No.
Oh, I thought
That might as well be a circus too.
Yeah, right. Kevin Spacey. But look at Stormy Daniels appearing on Saturday Night Live. It's like you're using your soapbox.
Wait. Back to what Jihan said. Clout chasing.
Yeah,
Clout
she's
chasing.
clout chasing
That
for
is,
sure.
That is clout chasing to the max. What Stormy Daniels is doing right now.
Like, why are we even talking about it? That's how
Exactly, but that's why I love
pervasive
it.
it is.
I love it. I love that. I love
Some
people.
Stormy Daniels.
I think Stormy. I've never viewed one of her tapes yet.
Me neither.
You know, I'm not into the mainstream. I like the homemade stuff. I like the boyfriend girlfriend accidental.
The amateur joint.
Yeah, I like the amateur don'ts. I like them a
She's
lot.
like, put the camera away.
I can connect because I can connect to it, son. I like see myself, especially if it's point of view. I'm like, oh yeah, that's me right there. That's me. That's her. Yeah, I like that POV. Shout out POV.
Right,
Shout out to all you
let's get
amateur
this going
porns.
in another direction.
Shout out all you amateurs out there. Keep producing. I'm an amateur podcaster. What are you?
You're producing.
All right, so back to it.
Okay.
We're talking about coaching and how it impacts lives. Right?
Okay.
So, when I was getting coached, it really impacted my life because it was a character I could connect to.
Mhm.
We shared a lot of interests. I wouldn't say I have dad issues, but there were times where my dad was very disconnected from my life, and I think all people need the balance of a mother figure and a father figure to really raise a good human, whether it's a male or female.
Yeah.
Someone needs to be more feminine and someone needs to be more masculine.
I don't want to say
In the
too
relationship.
I think it's just the double authority more than the genders.
Well, put it this way: you have a kid that pisses his pants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the dad might get mad and be like, "Come on, we're in public. You can't be pissing your pants, right? You changing his underwear or something like that he had in the back of the car." And then the mom's sitting there, "Oh, it's okay, baby." You need that. You need the dad to say you can't be doing this, but you also need the mom to say it's okay.
I feel you. But
Mistakes happen.
But it's 2018. We gotta not think about it as these gender roles that they have. You know
Yes
what I mean?
and no.
Like you could have the father providing that same sentiment that you were saying the mother had, and you know what I mean? It could be reversed.
Yeah,
We don't need it to be that. It's
exactly.
It's about having balance, and it's about having people, more than one person to support. Like you need support as a parent. You need someone to be like, no, there's two of us. We're adults. We're saying it's this. End of story. You need someone to back up with.
Yeah, but see, I like Mason's point about you need a mother figure and a father figure because, like, same thing as similar to Mason's story. Like, I didn't really grow up with my dad either, and Mason said that you kind of need both to have a good kid. I wouldn't say to have a good kid. I'd say to have a
well put together.
Yeah,
like a balanced kid.
Right. But look out there, how many bad kids, how many bad people are out there that had both parents.
Yeah.
I don't think that correlation is 100% there. There are people being ruined by having those two types of parents still.
Yeah, but I mean, if my dad was around, I probably wouldn't have taken forever for school. I probably would.
Maybe
because you have that authority figure.
But you had a stepdad. He was a great father.
Yeah, he was good, but it's just different. Like
I know.
Father, it's just I mean, I technically call him my dad, but it's
and I
it's
love that man.
So
he's a good man.
He's a cool guy.
Let me say this:
Drinks a lot of Hennessy.
whenever anyone makes a comment about my father,
okay,
I
don't know much about him, by the way.
No, you've never met him. I don't think.
No.
No one will ever understand my father more than me.
Okay.
I'm half him.
Okay.
I understand the way his brain works. I understand his thought process. I understand why he does what he does. Every time I see him do something, every time he did something bad, I almost felt some remorse for him, though. He's a good man at heart. I'll give him that. He didn't make good decisions sometimes, but there's no person that can. No one can ever make good decisions their whole life. It's impossible.
No. You gotta learn. You don't know the good decisions if you haven't made the bad ones to learn, or seen other people make the bad ones.
Some people it takes longer than others to make these good decisions and realize what they want.
And some people will never make good decisions.
Exactly. No, that's unfortunate when you don't. But to me, it was. I understand this man, so I feel like I gave him more leniency on some things, but I was very harsh on him on other things because I'm like, I know what you're up to. I know what you're doing.
I know what's clicking in there.
Exactly. I know the way the gears are turning. I know which gear is where. So it's a very interesting concept. And back to what you were saying, it was very interesting when you said we need to get rid of male and female. I completely agree that the female can be the masculine authority in a relationship, actually. I, myself, am more attracted to, like, very well put together, not well put together, but very, like,
strong
females.
Strong females are very attractive.
To me, there's something
confidence.
about
Confidence
them.
is attractive, man
to
or
me,
woman.
it's something that's like, I'm this confident person. Imagine somebody being so confident they can, like, almost envelop me.
Yeah.
And there's something to me that's very attractive to that. I don't know what it is, but to me, it's just like a well put together girl who doesn't want to be bossed around by a dude.
Yeah. Well, it goes both ways. No one really wants.
It does go both ways.
Does a girl want a pushover guy that
some do?
When she cheats on him, he's just gonna be like, "Oh, it's all right." Like,
some people like pushovers, girls or guys.
Stupid though.
There's all. I mean,
you should stand.
The
up
dominant
for
type sometimes wants that submissive type to go with it. Sometimes the dominant wants another dominant to challenge them.
I'm gonna take a beer real quick.
Yeah. See you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.
Oh yeah.
So
What's up, Rani?
let's talk about
clout chasing. Was that what we're doing? By talking.
So something I wanted to touch on when I was here was today's the first day of Ramadan for Muslims. and I grew up in a Muslim household as well as you, I want to say.
Kinda. My father was Muslim, but he lost his faith along the way, which I don't believe in those types of things. So I was all for it.
Now, are
But-
you atheist or what would you call yourself?
I wouldn't even throw a label on it. The way I feel is just I feel that I feel default on it. You know, there's nothing putting me one way or the other. There's no guesses, because that's what, in my opinion, religions are. They're just the best guesses that people can come up with, are the stories. And
To see how the world started.
yeah, you know, and I just personally don't think that as humans we have the capacity to really conceptualize what
I
happened.
mean, let's be real. No one knows how anything started.
one
really.
knows.
I mean, you
People
can say the Big
guess.
Bang happened, but
People
then.
make assumptions. People say there are truths, but
So, I wanted to say the reason I brought this up is because there's a lot of racism and.
oh yes, just because I wasn't raised Muslim doesn't mean I don't have a Middle Eastern name, Jihan, Ihan, and I deal with subtle racism, sometimes not so subtle, every single day.
Yeah, it's pretty. See, I don't really look Middle Eastern that much. Yeah, we both have lighter skin.
You know,
so
throws people off when they hear our names.
exactly.
You know,
Especially when I say my last
it's
name.
shameful.
I saw it, and they're like,
Exactly.
"Oh, like the president is here."
Exactly. And it's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to live this life. I identify as an American. I was born in America, New York City, you know, and it's just
Were you born in New York?
New York City, Jackson
I did
Heights.
not know that.
You know what I'm saying? And
I've
it's
known
all I
him
know.
since like I was 3.
English is my first language. Second language is Spanish. I don't know Turkish. I don't know Kurdish. I don't know Arabic. You know what I mean? I'm an American kid, American man now, and I just hate that people try to take away from how much American
See,
I am.
And you guys
when
were
they try to
saying you
say
wanted to
certain
get
things.
rid of the male-female thing. I also think on like
I don't know
applications
if that
for
should,
yeah.
but that's just how the.
I didn't
freaking
really
world's
touch on
going
that
at this
because
point.
I don't really
what I mean?
have an opinion on that because people that are transgender or gay or lesbian, like, you know, it could offend them, but then at the same time, it's like, I think you know what you are, so I don't want to get into that, piss people off. But the reason I was bringing that up is because on job applications, it always says like male and female, and then it says race. And for races, I don't know if you guys have realized, but there's never really like an Arab section. It's always like Latino or other or like Pacific American, I think. Is
Right.
one of
And I never know if I'm
Why?
benefiting myself or like bringing
Yeah,
myself back as
exactly.
far as
So-
the answers go by filling in those parts. And I'm just, why are we even talking about this?
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. There is really no need for that because then it kind of puts.
There used to be.
Yeah, there used to
some
be.
degree there still is, but it's like at the same time it's kind of counterproductive. You know, when you label things to help people, it's
Exactly.
helpful. But when you're labeling things just inherently, it starts.
You're
a
technically
division.
calling people things right now because you're saying labeling things.
I mean,
Exactly.
I was talking about people and lots of other stuff, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when you're using labels, they become a thing instead of a person.
No, yeah.
A name isn't a label; it's a name. It has a little bit more. You know what I mean? There's
And
a
it
lot more
also
backing
like
to
so.
it.
I know with some universities, it's like they prefer choosing like minorities over white people sometimes, and it's like, is that not racism?
But it's the idea behind it is that it's
They want to
compelling
create a
people
diverse.
to get that fairness, so that the
Yeah, but
inequality that comes with racism
isn't
is
that
being
kind of
battled.
ironic?
It's very ironic.
I think race, sex, and even names should be completely eradicated.
I think you
or
talked
should
about
all be
this on
zeros
one of
and
your.
I
ones.
said it earlier. It should be eradicated.
Zero
from-
110100001
Yeah.
is my name.
Exactly. That's what I
My
want.
But then
gender
we're
is
just another
11001.
Exactly. I don't even want your gender. I don't want to know that. I don't want.
Well,
that.
I don't think that's needed on
I couldn't say
a
it
job
again.
application, especially if you see a name as Sarah. It's gonna be like, all right, well, that's
That's a chick.
blatantly
That's
a
what I'm
girl.
saying. That's why I want numbers instead.
Yeah.
And then I want to meet the person. I want to see what they're about. And if they have the good rap sheet. Well, also, I don't even like applications. I'd rather everything be face to
interview.
face.
Yeah, I guess when you have a
And
certain amount of
everybody
people,
just
you gotta be able to
bullshits job
meet it.
applications too. Anyways, like you don't bullshit, but you definitely like you hype yourself up.
And if
Well,
you're not
yeah,
hyping yourself, you're
then
behind
you're an
because
idiot.
everyone else is hyping.
Exactly. Just stop being modest.
cut chase.
Don't be modest when you're applying to a job.
It's
Stop
your one
being
time to brag
modest.
about yourself.
Exactly. And they want to hear you brag about yourself because they want the confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence is very important, and I feel like it's almost losing, like itself from generation to generation. Like almost confidence, people are getting more reclusive.
It's turning into
themselves.
arrogance.
It is. It's
General
very
confidence is general
weird.
arrogance now.
It's extremely weird.
Yeah.
It's extremely weird how confrontation is going away, and confrontation isn't a bad thing. Confrontation can be very good. It can be
Confrontation
very.
is good.
It's
It's
very
how you
good.
get things solved.
It's problem solving, and people are too scared to solve problems with confrontation. They'd rather type online. They don't want to do it face to face.
They're not hip to resolutions.
No, they're not. They're very narrow-minded in some sorts.
Yeah, see, at one of my previous jobs, I had a manager, like, he got angry at something I did, and instead of telling me, he just went to someone else who ended up telling me, and it's like, if he just confronted me and told him, I would have had much more respect instead of him
Right.
just going behind my back, basically, and
For sure.
basically talking shit. But at the same time, it's like, if you're over the age of 18 and you can't confront someone because you're scared, then you need to look yourself in the mirror because that's just a little
Because you're soft.
ridiculous. Yeah.
when
Like,
I was in
come
the
on.
army,
Goes back to the parents.
I had one of the greatest leaders,
Okay.
and I almost hated this guy though. But I
Usually
love
the best ones are like that.
I like hated this guy, but there's something about his tenacity that
Yeah,
I
you
love.
respect it.
I respected this man. I
Mhm,
didn't
mhm.
necessarily like him, but I respected him. He had this whole concept of we're gonna take care of things at the lowest level. We're gonna do X, Y, Z, and this is why I really respected him. I don't even say I fucked up, but if there was a problem with me, this guy always had my back because I was one of his own. When it was
Mhm,
something bigger than
mhm.
him, he always protected me. And
Nice.
this is something you can't buy. This is
It's
something
leadership.
that a person has to realize within themselves to do. And like I said, you don't have to like who you respect.
Mm-hmm.
You never have to. But as long as you see the respect there and what they're doing, you can kind of get on board.
We were talking about it the other day, or earlier today, actually. The difference between a leader and a boss.
There's a huge difference, a massive difference between
Mhm.
each. I fell into both roles when I was in the military. I've been a boss at some points, and also I've been a leader. If I'm doing something, I don't want to be the only one doing it. I don't
Mhm.
want to be the only one saying, I can do this, you can't do that. There are certain circumstances where that is true, seniority and stuff like that, but we're all humans. Just because one man hasn't put enough time doesn't mean he's not as passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean he doesn't deserve it as much. But there's a balance between time and being passionate. And some people are just passionate and have more time in. And that's the way it is. People who want to change that, I don't know if that's a good idea. I think we should appreciate people who put time into things, made careers out of thing, made an effort to do this for X amount of time, and not just say, all right, I was interested in this for this amount of time, and then I'm going to move on to this new thing, and I expect the same amount of respect. It's not how things work. It's not how life works. It takes time to grow. It takes time to build. Nothing's instant, and we're also losing reality with that.
We
Time.
want everything as soon as possible.
People want to be making a 40-year-old salary when they're 20.
There's no patience.
It's insane. We have to put time in. I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I expect things to be more instant than they are. I'm very guilty of it, actually. I'm a very impatient person. Very, very impatient person. Why don't I have 1,000 views on this podcast yet? What the hell? Give me more shares.
Now
No,
that you
but-
got us on it, you will.
Like.
Hit that like and subscribe right now. Or if you're watching on Facebook, share it. If you're on SoundCloud, share it and like it. Tell your friends about it. No, but it's I did this podcast with the full expectation that it could take years to get off the ground into something bigger. And I fully believe that this will become something bigger. I have a lot of dedicated people. I'm very dedicated. I only like to mix with personalities who are dedicated as well. What do you guys think of that? Dedicated personalities. What do you think of the difference of someone? Okay, here's a great one. What would you rather have, will versus skill?
That's tough.
someone can be so good at something, but a lazy motherfucker.
It's a lot easier
And
to
that-
teach a skill than it is to teach will to do something.
Exactly. Humans are very adaptable. We have adapted to almost every single climate in Earth and maybe even space in the near future. We're the most adaptable species in
Yeah.
history.
Our thing is teamwork and adaptability,
Exactly. It's a collective brain.
communication.
If you look at animal groups that are also collective brains, they're usually the most successful in predators. Tigers being like one of the only ones who are like kind of lone wolves. Wolves have packs, so there's really no such thing as a lone wolf. Wolves like to run in packs. Lions run in packs. Dolphins, some of
That's
the
the whole
greatest
thing,
hunters.
though. The lone wolf is like able to do it. He's so badass. He's able to do it on his own.
Exactly, and that's
You
why
know?
we have that term, lone wolf.
He's like, ooh.
Exactly,
What a
that one
badass.
wolf in the night. and but it's awesome to be that guy. I love the lone wolf. I really do. I think that's amazing to be a lone wolf.
Yeah,
It's a lot of skill
for sure.
and a lot of will to be a lone wolf.
Exactly.
Skill and will.
You gotta have both. You gotta
It's
have
a
both for that
maximum
one.
potential of both, really.
And
to
then the
be a
wolf
lone
pack grew one more.
Yeah, right. The wolf pack continuously grows. Continuously. So when we talk about skill versus will, what do you want?
You know, when you first brought that up, I thought of skill right away, but as you talked
Explain
about it
about it.
more, no, it's definitely will now.
It is will.
Because, I mean, if you have Kobe Bryant and he has no will to win, you think he's going to be putting up 81
But
points in the
here's the
game?
crazy thing about Kobe, why he's one of the greatest. He is maximum of both, though, almost. I think he's more will than skill, though.
I say
And
Jordan's
honestly-
the max of both.
Yeah.
He maxed out
Well,
both.
actually, maybe LeBron.
I mean, no one's ever done more basketball shots than Jordan. That's how he got so good. He was just every single day as a kid,
Every day,
just
yeah.
shooting.
Yeah,
You know what I
just
mean?
shooting.
No one's tried harder at life than him.
Will creates skill.
What's that?
The Rockets game. The Rockets game was an embarrassment
bad.
to the Golden State.
Yeah. Well, see, first of all, Stephen Curry did terrible. Him and Klay Thompson
Three threes.
had a combined,
Three.
like, what? Yeah. So,
I think one player on the Houston had 6 threes and
Eric Gordon and I think PJ Tucker, or it was PJ Tucker.
yeah, I think it was, and they had 11 threes between the two of them.
You know, I'm a really big KD fan, but
Hey, DMV, shout out.
yeah, but the move he made was a pussy move.
What, Golden State?
Yes.
What? I
Dude,
disagree.
it is so whack. So I don't know if you watched Game 1, but
Of the whole, I watched that whole series.
okay, so Kevin Durant's he's unstoppable. He's easily the number 1 or 2 best scorers in the league, easily.
He's the best scorer of all time.
Yeah, you could even debate that, which I would not even
I would
argue against it.
maybe Wilt Chamberlain, but like it's different league.
So, but I just don't like how he did that because, okay, the Rockets won last game, but it wasn't that close game 1, and they're about to go back to Golden State's arena for the next 2 games, and I don't know if the Rockets could beat them in both of those. So,
Yes. But going back to KD,
did
Not
you
respecting
you don't
that.
think that was a pussy move?
no, I don't.
'Cause
I think before he made that decision, I think even before
Well,
that season was over,
he wasn't
that
going to win.
he made
with
the
Russ.
decision to
Yeah.
leave OKC.
He wasn't going to win with Russ. I don't think Russ will ever win.
Russ is the worst teammate.
Yeah, he
No one likes to play with
stat
Russell
sheet
Westbrook.
stuffer, but not a winner.
No one except Steven Adams likes to play with Russell Westbrook because
Exactly.
Steven Adams lets him get his eat.
But the only reason
Paul
I brought
George
this
and
up,
Carmelo.
I wanted to say, do you think so? Look, KD obviously has 1 ring. Let's say he gets 2 more, so he has 3 total. Let's say he has 3 total, and then he goes. Let's say he leaves somewhere else and he never gets a ring again, right? So he has 3 rings, and they're only from Golden State with Curry and Clay and Draymond and Sean Livingston and all of them. Do you think his legacy is ruined? Because I feel like if he won somewhere, yeah, but it would not be as enhanced as it should be, because I feel like if he
I
won
mean,
it,
LeBron had to go through that, right?
yeah, exactly.
LeBron
But like,
did the same shit.
Over in the Heat,
And
then
now
moving
he's
over.
Now he's a huge
So,
goat topic.
so if you're so good, why couldn't you do it in Cleveland? That whole
yeah,
conversation.
exactly. But like, because I don't see anyone gonna be talking about KD is one of the all-time greats just because of that move. Honestly, like I see them talking about one of them as the best scorers, but if he didn't go, I could see them saying
all-time
he's
great having a
you
hit
know,
on that.
'cause
I think
do you like you know what I'm saying?
I think
His
he'll be a
legacy?
I think he'll be a top 10 all-time great.
Well, okay, let me ask you
But
this.
see, if
Is
he didn't
Tom
do that, I
Brady-
feel like he'd be top 5.
Does Tom Brady have anything less because he's been with Belichick?
But he was drafted
Belichick's
there.
better
He
than
didn't he didn't get traded
I think
there.
so,
He
too.
didn't
But
he didn't choose
you know what I
to
mean?
go.
He's only been with the Patriots, only been with Belichick.
But see, you
Is
can't-
it because of the system and Belichick?
But see where how good were the Patriots before Tom Brady got there? They went to what, the Super Bowl with Drew Bledsoe, I think, or did they not?
They went to
I
Super
don't-
Bowl
I'm not that
2000,
to be honest.
I think. No, not Super Bowl. The greatest show. They went to one before that. They've been to Super Bowls before Brady,
Yeah.
but it wasn't with Belichick. Is Belichick go without Brady? Is Brady?
But
go
see,
without
the
Belichick?
reason
I think
that's but we've never experienced that.
we have Garoppolo.
Okay, but I'm saying like Brady.
He's the highest
Brady was still on the team at that time. I meant like if you had them both on the different teams and seeing who actually.
Who's the highest paid quarterback now, though?
One of the things about the Patriots, though, they quietly have one of the top
Jimmy
5, if not
Garoppolo.
number 1 rushing yards in the league, or rushing touchdowns. They're like great
Always
at
number
running.
one. Always number
top
one.
10 in rushing, always top 10 in defense.
Yeah, and that's
You know?
why I really do think it's not a Brady thing, and that's why
Brady
supposedly
bunch.
the big argument was between the owner and Bill Belichick wanting to get rid of Tom Brady
Yeah, that's
and saying, "Let's restart."
actually watched.
I got Garoppolo here. He's killing it. Let's just.
And
Sorry,
Kraft's
Brady,
like, but
but
my
I'm
golden
looking for
boy,
long-term."
but my golden boy.
Apparently, that's
No,
why.
but that's respect, though.
Yeah.
That man has dedicated X, Y, Z to this organization. You can't throw him. You can't Peyton Manning him.
It's NFL. You
what the-
can
what the
do
co-
whatever
yeah,
you want.
can
It's a
do.
cool business.
But what does that say about your fan base, everything involved? Like,
Fan base, get over it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
look
don't
what they
know,
did to
man.
my boy Des Bryant. Like, they just let him go. Nothing with it. No
Right.
cut, no nothing.
Not,
he's not
no
a
one's burning
quarterback.
jerseys.
He's not a quarterback. There ain't
As
no
long
Cole
as,
Beasley.
as long as you don't take a knee, there's no jerseys being burnt.
That's crazy to me.
We want to get into that?
I do a little bit. Just let's talk about it for a few minutes. I was in the
Let's do it.
military, and I support players taking a knee because they feel like they're being oppressed. It doesn't mean they are oppressed, even. But if somebody feels a certain way, and if they want to protest something, so here is it: don't do the national anthem. Do anything but the national anthem. How else is it supposed to get their point across? They chose the one thing that you were going to talk about, and I agree with choosing topics that are fiery. I like that tactic. I think it is very effective.
I hate that people put this connection between protesting our federal government and protesting military.
Yeah.
You know, why can't you protest the national, the federal
Well,
government without having anything to do with the military?
Because, well, they personalize it to military, but the military
Because
does
it's
hold
sensitive.
the flag in a very sacred way
For sure.
in the
But
national anthem.
the reason that we have all the rights to do what they did, taking a
Exactly.
knee, is because of the military.
Exactly.
If anything, it's a sign of respect because you're showing your freedoms, you're expressing how you feel, and you only can do that. Well, not only, but our country is one of the few places in the world where you can do that.
Yeah.
Because of these military people and whatnot.
You know what I think?
It's not fair.
You know what I think is the dumbest thing is when football
signing.
fans say they're not going to watch football anymore. Because
Oh, my God.
It's like,
Dude.
okay, you're not a football.
All those guys look like idiots too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're just like
I'm
their
gonna watch football.
IQs.
It shows that they got played into the system. It shows that the media won.
Right.
To me.
Media clearly
To me, it shows that they ate up all the shit. They ate some
I
ass.
spent thousands of
They
dollars
took-
on all this equipment. I'm
They
just
went to
gonna burn
CNN, they went to Fox, and they went, and they just did it all. That's what they did. That's what it shows me.
it. People don't like to think for themselves.
I mean, how do you personalize yourself to the NFL and not watch it because it offends you? That's crazy to me.
I mean, the thing is, I don't even like tune in sometimes until after the national anthem.
I'm a football coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
At one of my games, there was the entire stand just talking, chattering, blah 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 during the national anthem. This was all during, this was fall of last year, all during all that stuff. No one was respecting the flag. I'm up in the booth because that's on the varsity. I'm up watching the camera and whatnot, sending down footage, and then what do? I yelled at them, "Shut the hell up!"
Yeah.
The entire crowd stopped. Got a
Yeah.
couple claps for it.
And it's good to do that. If someone doesn't want to oblige, though, you tell them to shut the hell up. If they don't do it,
What's the
move the fuck on.
that didn't get publicity?
I think I was nice because it was like high schoolers. I said, "Stop talking."
they
As
don't
loud as I
realize
could.
either.
But
high
they did.
school, you're a very selfish time. You're,
Oh,
you're
for
really
sure.
worried about
For
your
sure.
status and stuff like that, so you don't even realize that's going
But-
on. You don't realize they respect you.
I had conversations with some of those same people who were talking about how they disagreed with what Kaepernick was doing because it was
Yeah.
disrespectful to the flag.
And they were doing it
then they were
themselves.
all together disrespecting the flag.
I think
And the
kneeling
anthem.
is more respectful than fucking talking during it.
Mm-hmm.
Easily.
How many people during the national anthem at football games in the NFL are taking a leak, grabbing beer, grabbing food? I will stop every time, take my hat off, put whatever I have, put
Yep.
it over my heart, put your hands at the side, whatever the formal thing to do is that I can think of, and just respect the anthem and the flag. But that's my choice.
Yeah, there's always that guy that the national anthem's about to start. Let's go into the tunnels and grab some beer and some nachos.
Yeah, like specifically
I'm not
because it's
in the
national
stand,
anthem.
so I don't gotta stand for
But
it.
they're the one that would be throwing the food at Kaepernick's head,
Exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy to me.
calling for his blood.
It's a huge double standard. A society only wants to attribute things to themselves. It's crazy. But being selfish is a good and a bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you got to take care of yourself first.
Self-preservation.
How can you take care? Yeah, exactly.
Mhm, mhm.
How can you take care of yourself? Or how can you take care of someone else when you can't take care of yourself?
Right? It's detrimental usually to both.
It's actually hurting everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, to me, that's a very common thing.
It takes a
On
big
the-
person to realize it.
Well, left-leaning people want to be very philanthropist-like, and to me, it's like, yes and no. You want to do all these great things for people, but you have to realize, look at America as yourself. This is where I kind of get confused. Is the left has a lot of self-empowerment things, women's rights, trans rights, gay rights, minority rights, yet they don't want to empower America. It's very confusing to me. They want to almost, it seems like, white or just wash out America into like this. I like the multicultural aspect, but like really take new ideals from other countries, and it's like, no, that's where we have countries, so you can move to a place where you want to leave these ideals. So it's very confusing to me when the left gets very self-empowered with almost all their policies and social politics is very self-empowering, except to certain groups to me, which is mainly the white male category, trying to take the power away. Not necessarily take the power away, but at least downplay it. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. I think Democrats, not Democrats, but hard left-leaning people are trying to take power away from white males. I really do think that.
They'll probably tell it right up, straight up.
And,
You
and,
ask them.
and a lot of them will tell me straight up, and because they think the white males control everything, and I understand that to an aspect, that family tradition and stuff that's been passed down,
But saying like the entirety, the blanket statement, though, all white males.
it's stereotypical, and they fight against stereotypes, but now you're stereotyping. So what are we solving?
I think that all these divisive tactics that are going on, black versus white, man versus woman,
Yeah,
rich versus
it's
poor,
crazy.
it's all ridiculous. It's just ways to distract us from the oppressor
insane.
versus those who are oppressed.
Yes.
And that's what we need to focus on. We need to stop dividing ourselves with all these little petty reasons and realize that there are people who do control it. Who knows what skin color they are? They usually keep it pretty secret, who they are. But
That's why I love the area we live in.
It's a
Diversity is
huge. It's a
huge.
huge melting pot here.
Exactly.
Huge. DC is. We have I think it's the biggest El Salvadorian population in the United States, the biggest Ethiopian population in the United States as well. DC is a huge melting pot. Any city is really.
we're lucky to grow up here.
Oh, very lucky. I love growing up here. I don't necessarily want to be in this area all the time, but this is a great area to experience. Anyone who says we're in the heart of politics here.
As
You know-
much as I what's it called?
Clout chase.
Clout chases unite. As much as you love growing up here, something about it can kill you.
As much as
I know what you're trying to say.
no, I was gonna say as much. So the media shows a lot of.
Race
They show a lot of negative things.
Yeah.
They show a lot of racism around the country.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't know about you guys, but I have not really experienced any racism in this area.
Not to like
Not-
see in the movies.
Yeah, and at least not recently. Nothing that I could think of on the top of my head. And I
Yeah.
just think that's just because everyone here is mixed and we all grew up like.
I haven't seen any blatant racism.
That's what I'm saying.
The only place I've really experienced that was the military. And that's because you get a large group of people from all over the world, not even just America, coming in to this one force. I've met people in the military who never met a black person before they were in the military, never flew on a plane before they're in the military, never seen an ocean before they were in the military. So when you meet these, well, what's interesting actually is that when you meet these type of people, instead of just countering their views and trying to change them, you should actually listen to their views of things. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to interact with someone who's never met a certain race before and never experienced
feelings against them for some reason.
Feelings that they never experienced, and just concepts like, wow, that's really weird what they do. They don't understand it, but it might be vice versa. And I think all cultures are guilty of that, especially when you come from a culture. Immigrants, right? So immigrants come from cultures where usually everyone is very like them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't really see a big melting pot in Mexico. You don't see a really big melting pot in the Middle East, and vice versa, right? Mm-hmm. So when they come here, they're all very racist usually. Immigrants are very racist people usually. I'd say they're more racist. Immigrants are more racist than born Americans.
Racist /
it's pretty
stereotypical.
But I see exactly what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying, because they come with these cultural adaptations of what their news has fed them
just
from these other
inherently
cultures.
just only knowing one thing your whole life.
Exactly. An example of that is I was just like listening to rap in the car with my mom, and she's like, "Oh, why are you listening to African American music?"
Exactly.
I'm like,
but it's nothing against your mom.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Your mom's not a bad person.
Yeah, she's a very nice lady. It's just
your mom
it's
is
just really funny because it's like, well, mom, everyone
interpreting
listens to, like,
culture.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly what it is, and I think we need to realize that.
Even having my ears pierced, like, I don't know if you guys know, but in the Middle East, if you have your ears pierced, they think you're gay.
Then they might hang you.
Yeah, no, they can do some crazy shit. But my mom, like, as soon as I got my ears pierced, she basically questioned me, and I was just like, it's
an American thing.
Yeah, it's just, you don't understand.
Well,
She's cool with it now. Yeah.
Stop looking at races and start looking at cultures instead. What culture are you a part of rather than what is your skin tone?
Stop looking at races, start looking at brains.
Exactly. What is their brain connect? They connect with this group. This is really what they are. They aren't black or white. They're this.
Well, the problem with that is that you can't exactly... You can't judge someone without getting to talk to them unless you judge them off of looks.
Yes, and
that's the problem with it.
Even if you've heard them talk, people can portray the things they say in very mean manners or very good manners.
Oh, of course. I mean, even as I said, when I'm working at Domino's, when I have a foreign person call, instantly in your mind you're like, okay, well, this is going to be a bitch because they can't really understand it.
I could tell you guys so many situations where someone was an asshole to me and leave it at that. And then just leave out the part where they came back and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to actually act like that." And
sounding
X,
like
Y,
Fox
Z.
News over here, some CNN.
Exactly, we're sounding like some biased shit. So I can tell you so many stories where I just leave that part out that person actually came back and said they're sorry and that they were wrong and did X,
they were
Y,
big
Z.
about it, yeah.
But I just took that part just because I knew you'd be like, "Oh yeah."
You painted this picture and this perception you gave to this person is completely false of what the actual situation was.
I don't think humans are inherently evil.
There's a couple.
There are a few. But I really think the GP, the general population, is not inherently
evil. I'm teaching you guys words now, too. Letters.
We taught him clout chasing, he taught us GP. See, we're learning from each other. That's the whole point of everything like this.
The more you know.
And we have different races right here, too.
I'm half Colombian, half Irish.
Dutch, English, and Kurdish.
I'm Middle Eastern.
Boom. So we're really in a lot of aspects. I know I'm the palest motherfucker here.
Well, I got some sunscreen.
Even to white people, I'm extremely pale, but believe me, I got some Hispanic in me.
Bermuda.
Oh, Bermuda. See, I got a little flavor. I got a little spice.
I love your gamer tag, by the way.
Oh, which one? I changed it.
Bromudas.
Yeah, that was the old one, but I took out the last name. It's just Mvsxn.
Yeah,
with 3 6s now.
Ooh.
So,
this is definitely a great first time.
100%.
Yeah.
So we're at about an hour now. Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up. All right. So everybody, what I want you to do, if you listen this long, I want you to share this video. I want you to share it with your friends. I want you to listen in your car on your way to work. We're gonna be on SoundCloud. We're on YouTube. I can give you any format you want. You want audio only? I'll give it to you. You want video only? I got it for you. Let me know what you want. Let me know what you want to see and what you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Please give me some suggestions.
Without being a dick, give us some feedback.
These guys
You know?
aren't guests. They're co-hosts. They're contributors. These are personalities you will see in the future. These are people who will grow. These are people who you're going to know eventually. We want you all to connect with us. We want you all to be part of this. Just because you see us and hear our voices doesn't mean you're not included. So everyone who's listening, please give us content. Please give us suggestions. Please give us constructive criticism. We greatly appreciate it. Everyone here at Nothing the Podcast, Christian, throw up a peace sign real quick. All right. So this is Mason, and I think we're good for today.
Sounds
Cheers,
good to me.
boys.
My beer's out.
That's awesome.
All right, good.